All right. So this is OOLO. What is OOLO? OOLO is back in the 80s and 90s. There were a lot of isometric adventure games. Back before we could do real 3D on our computers and consoles, we faked it with carefully designed sprites. Nice 45-degree angle, um, orthographic projection, which meant there was no depth, so you couldn't really tell how far away things were, which was both frustrating and also part of the puzzle design that some designers used. I admit I kind of take advantage of that a little bit. Um, but yeah, it was a big genre of games, and then once 3D came out, it wasn't really that big of a thing anymore. We had real 3D. We had like Super Mario 64. I had a camera. I could run around. I could look at anything from any angle, and so there was no more need for the fake perspective. A few games carry this forward. Actually, The Sims is a very famous isometric game. What else do we have? Diablo. Diablo is a very famous isometric franchise. Um, but for like platforming and adventure games, it kind of fell out of favor. Is it all right if I stream it to? Yes, yes, you can. You can stream this. Once I send out the next playtest, absolutely anyone can stream. In fact, I'm probably going to do a public playtest round sometime in the next month. I haven't announced release date yet, but my money would be on before end of summer. Hoping to be able to announce an official date in about 2 weeks. Anyway, one of my favorite isometric games from 1990, Solstice on the NES. And I took a lot of design cues from that, but I loved that game. I loved the atmosphere. I loved the room design. I just loved it. Loved everything about it. And there wasn't enough of those games throughout the last 30 years or so. And I really wanted more. I didn't want to reinvent the wheel. I didn't want to do anything strange or experimental or flashy. I just wanted to take Solstice, something like Solstice, and kind of blow it up a little bit, right? Like the original Solstice had one upgrade. It had boots that let you jump higher, and that was it. And it was still, go around, explore this big kind of Metroidvania map, collect the six things, open the door, win the game. And so I have the six things to collect. I have opening the door. I have winning the game. And I have 8 power-ups and a much larger world to explore. Like I said, Solstice, but with more. And if you've ever played Solstice, or if you played some of the other older ones like Landstalker or Equinox, Night Lore was really, really back there. There was a more recent one back in the 2010s. Luma, I think was the name of it. That was pretty good. Um, Similar thing where you could tell he was definitely inspired by Solstice and some of the older ones, and I believe he even kind of had the same motivation. Like he just wanted more of that kind of gameplay, and it just didn't exist. And so here we are. Um, let's see. I'm just gonna go ahead and start playing, and I'll kind of talk through some things as I go. If it felt familiar, yeah. The number of people who actually played Solstice when it came out, who are still around, especially like the up and coming indie game devs, like nobody remembers that game, man. It was it was so long ago, and it wasn't that popular even when it was out. But I was there. I remember it. All right, let's start here. We'll start a new game. We'll go through this whole thing, and I'll make sure that I show off areas that are not in the current demo or even the current playtest. I want to show some cool stuff off. This is the actual final build. Still a little bit of content left to put in, and I'm sure we'll see lots of bugs that I'll be embarrassed by, but it's all right. It's all right. One of the first things that you have to deal with here is difficulty. I originally made it based on lives, like a lot of the old games, and you get 3 lives, you lose them all, and game over. Go back to your last save and start again. And that was frustrating for a lot of reasons, but I really liked the mode, so I wanted to keep it. So I added a casual mode now where you have as many lives as you want. Um, I'm going to be adding one little tweak to it so that things that you gather in a room don't stay unless you exit the room with them. So you can't just like basically do a suicide run to pick up something like that. Won't That will fly in casual in the shipping version. I might let it fly in classic, and then retro is going to be enabled for the ship build. Right now, it's still a work in progress, but basically, what's going to happen is you'll have 3 lives. All the save points will just be like 1-ups. Game over on losing all lives. It's like a hardcore mode, right? And yes, there will be a Steam achievement tied to finishing that. Thought process in addressing some of the issues. You talking about the isometric issues? Man, this stream is way more delayed than I thought it was going to be. Gosh, I'm running about 10 seconds behind. Yeah, so one of the things I did, and we'll look at it as we go through here. Let me go ahead and start. I'll let this scroll while I'm talking. One of the things I did was I wanted to keep the orthographic projection because that's a huge part of the look and feel, right? But I also wanted to let you kind of peek around a little bit. I do some mean things with the projection in a few places, but you can hit the there's a couple of keys you can hit, or if you're using a controller, it's like the 2 shoulder buttons. Kind of slide the camera back and forth a little bit so you can get kind of an idea of where things are in depth. You can see, is that platform really where I think it is? Let me check real quick. I also added fake shadows. There are some real shadows just because it makes the lighting look good, but anything that's critical, like the player, blocks that move, enemies that move, and some platforms in a few areas that don't move, that are static. I actually put fake shadows like directly below them. So there's a few places where if the platform looks kind of tricky, if you actually look where the player's shadow is, if you're doing some jumping, and you compare to where some of the other shadows are, you can kind of tell if you're about to land on a block you think you're going to land on. And I think there's a couple of things we can look at as we're going through here. One of the other things I really wanted to do, and I'll be honest, Lumo gave me this idea. On the old isometric games, you had a D-pad, like on the NES. You had up, down, left, and right. And so how do you move in 3D? Well, up would always go up and to the right. And I think in some games, maybe Landstalker, up would go up and to the left. And nowadays, we want up to go up because that's what up means, right? And so I give players from the very beginning this option here to pick which input option you want. Do you want up to go up and to the right? And I'll let you play with it live too. So this way, I'm going to press straight up, right? There we go. Okay. All right. And then maybe I want it to go straight up like this. I press up, and now I just go like straight up to the top center of the room. Man, that feels weird because I'm not used to it. Or I can go up and to the left. And that feels extremely foreign, but it's okay. Some people really like that. But the key is I let you pick which one feels the best for you. And you can actually change this anytime you want in options. Ask you if you want to confirm it though. But yeah, all right, good. Couple of little like in-world hints. Hit the jump button. Right? Give you some things to hop over, maneuver around. Kind of force you to learn about navigating some things here. And then let this little cutscene go. Solstice had a few cutscenes. I think one at the very beginning and one at the very end. It was just some still frames. I mean, I'll be honest, these aren't much fancier. There's a little bit of a story here. There's not a lot. The cutscenes are pretty heavy. Well, not pretty heavy. The cutscenes are heaviest at the beginning. You get like 2.5 at the beginning, and that's it. And then there's one at the very end. There are no others. Most of the story is told through either environmental cues or through these memories you pick up, and I'll kind of show you what those are in a minute. We'll get to one pretty early on. The overall story here is the world that these people inhabit, OOLO and Kalgor and all their buddies back home. It doesn't have like a star like our world. Instead, it has this giant ball of fire called like the World Flame. It's the top of this mountain, and it dies out every several hundred years, right? About every millennium. And there's a group of people called the fire keepers who have to go. Yeah, you might recognize that term. Who kind of have to go rekindle the fire, right? And so they have this process that makes this this special stone. It takes almost about as long to make it as it takes for the sun to die out. And then they deliver it, deposit it in the sun, reignite it for the next 1,000 years, and the cycle starts again. And so this OOLO follows the journey of these two rekindlers of the flame on their journey to rekindle the fire for this cycle. But as anyone who's played the demo knows, things don't go as smoothly as you would expect. So this is a safe spot. These are scattered around pretty frequently, especially in the beginning of the game. They get a lot more scarce the farther you go. When you're playing in casual mode, it basically just means this is where I'm going to start if I quit and come back, right? Because there's no game over. But if you're playing in the classic mode, then game over will just start you from the last place you see. So this here is a memory, soul fragment, the official in-game term, right? This is where we kind of give some instructions, some hints, and some backstory. So these are kind of like memories of people who came to rekindle the flame the last cycle, the cycle before. And they kind of give you some lore and also some tips. So this one explains what the soul fonts do, how saving works, and some little flavor text there at the top, right? Excuse me, I meant to mute that. One of the key things about a Metroidvania design is you have to show people things that they can't do, but know that they'll be able to do at some point in the future. And so I kind of tied that into this little cutscene here where Caligor's like, hey buddy, we're gonna have to move this block because we can't jump that far, and I can't climb this thing. And there's this little dirt path here that shows that something has been here before, something's been moved here before. We'll clean this graphics up later, but for now, let's go this way. Let's go see what we can find. Just another memory. Ah, look, so there are things that I can unlock, and there are new powers I can get, and look, this one lets me move blocks. So this is a compass memory, and so if you look at the map, it's this little glove icon in the corner now, and I can just bring up the full map. And there it is. And so I've got to get there. So, here we go. Walk over here. I'm just going to zoom through this pretty quick. This explains what happens when you die. If you die enough times, right? Okay. I have to say, doing all the art and music too, which are definitely not my skill set. I'm more of a coder, and coming up with music that was not super repetitive was a fun challenge. So I think it worked out pretty well. So you can see the little hints. I'll run back in real quick so you can see them again. Kind of show up there on the bottom. Hit L1 and R1, right? And so you can kind of see what I was talking about earlier. We can shift the perspective a little bit, figure out exactly where things are. Oops, forgot that memory down there. It's fine. Oh, okay. That's what I get for not paying attention. I saw a chat message pop up and I looked over there. Oof. Okay. Thanks about the music. It's hard, especially since this song specifically was the first one I wrote. And I've been listening to this thing for like 2 years straight now, and it's all white noise in my head now. Oh man, it's tough to judge how how well or poor something is working out, right? When you're that close to it for that long. All right, so now that I've got the gloves, I can push the blocks around. Get to higher places now. Push this one across this little pit here. Jump. Also, if you notice in the top left, it shows the region name. It's like Lost Forest is one of the regions, and we'll see several more before the hour's up. I'm going to do this for about an hour, so about 45 more minutes here. But I also named each room because I thought it'd be kind of fun. It gives flavor. Sometimes it gives you a hint, right? Like this said, push it, push the block. This one is one way, right? Because when you first come in here, it's like, well, wait, once I get down here, you actually can't get back up. I don't think, until you can push this block. So, anyway, there we go. I got the stream on the side looking at it, and man, I am like 30 seconds behind, but it's okay. It's okay. I'll get that sorted out next time. I'm probably going to do another one of these streams later in the week towards the end of Next Fest. But whenever I'm not streaming, I'll have the video going, and I might drop a new video every now and then with some new content in it. Oops, could have done that a little bit faster, but it's okay. Here we go. It's like, here's another classic Metroidvania kind of thing, right? It's like, here's a block, and can't really pick it up. But you see this door up here, so like the fact that you have this thing that can move, that's a big hint that there's probably something you can do with it later, right? Like, why would there be a block on a hole like that? Well, spoiler alert, there is in fact a way to pick up and carry blocks later. Now this system here, this is a, see, it's asking me to put a potion in here, and I don't have one. Jump, take, walk around. This is the fast travel system. Most Metroidvanias have some way of traveling from one side of the map to the other pretty quickly. And so the way it works in OOLO is there's these little fountains that you have to dump potions into, and when they're full, it activates. And we'll activate a couple as we go here. But first, it's betrayal time. Here we go. I've got to have some super dramatic music happen when this goes on, you know. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. And boom, there he goes. And locks you out. Man, what a jerk. I thought he was your friend. Oh. Oh, that's sad. Alright, so in the demo and in every playtest, these three doors here are closed off. So guess what the first thing is we're going to do? We're going to go through one of them. If you watched any of the looping video earlier, I already went through a couple of these in that, but it's fine. Mostly I want the potions that are over it now, because you actually can't go too far until you get the next upgrade. Like, see, I can't do anything here. Alright. Watch out for those guys, or gals. They're a little creepy. I think if I go this way, I also can't get very far if I grab this potion. Yeah, I'm stuck here until I get the next upgrade. Alright, back we go. Through this room here. Alright. Let's do these little blocks here. Grab another potion. You can always check how many you have. So right there, I have three. Three on my person. I have found a total of 4. It's important to know how many you found for reasons. All right, let's get some more. Let's go. It's time to dive into the catacombs. Need that bag, because that kind of blocks everything else. So the pushing blocks and the picking up blocks, which we're going to get to at the bottom of the catacombs here in a minute, those are like the 2 key skills. There's 6 other upgrades, right? You can see all the slots here. But the key upgrades, I'm going to show you guys a trick. Ready? Look at this. You don't have to block any of that. Parkour. Anyway, the 2 key abilities are pushing blocks and grabbing blocks. That lets you get to a ton of places, lets you do a ton of fun maneuvers. And if you remember Solstice, that was the key maneuvering mechanic. Was you have blocks, you can pick them up, you can put them down, you can push them around. All right, we're in the catacombs. So when I was looking at the music for this game, one of the things I wanted to do was like find styles of music I liked and see if I could write music in that style. And so, pardon me while I fill this fountain real quick. One of the styles I wanted was, well, for Lost Forest, it was like, well, let's just have some nice peaceful adventure music, right? Like something I can loop that feels kind of cutesy and like we're going on an adventure. But for the catacombs, I'm like, well, there's skeletons, there's ghosts, it's dark, it's creepy. Can we do something that sounds like Castlevania? So that was 100% my target with this, right? I want something that sounds kind of like it would be in a Castlevania game, and feeling pretty good about this one. But this is another one that, again, it's been so close to me for so long that I can't really effectively judge it. But I like it, so. Alright. This is one of the puzzles in the game, so there aren't a lot of really hard puzzles, but there are definitely some rooms that you kind of got to think your way through a little bit. This room, early on, oh goodness, I did it again. Early on, I just had moving platforms here that you could push blocks onto. And I actually went back and changed it to have blocks on the ghost's head because of another room coming up here in a minute. I realized, some little like developer insight here, people didn't know that you could put blocks on monsters' heads until you got to a point where you had to do it. And I was like, you know what, maybe we should give them a hint. And so I just had that room and decided to replace the moving platforms with ghosts that already had blocks on their heads to show you that yes, you can in fact safely put a block on top of one and ride it. And so when you get to this room right here, bam, there it is, right? You know exactly what needs to be done. A little potion hiding back here. Hey, hey. Alright. A lot of people try to walk off of this switch. Let me show you a pro tip. Just bounce. You can bounce a lot faster than you can move. Alright, here we go. I now have the full kit. The most important upgrades. I can do anything. Okay, that's not true. But I can do a lot of things. And here we go. Alright, so now, Metroidvania, let's teach the player by showing, right? So, I have this block. I have a bag. Ooh, I can pick it up now. I can drop it. There we go. And then this technique, it was more of a tell, not a show, because I won't force you to read all that. You can basically grab a block and jump at the same time and get a little bit higher. See how that worked? I can take it with me, drop it up here. That is the key technique to traversing just about everything in the game. It's a lot better than just jumping through rooms. It's a lot better than just... How many potions I have? It's a lot better than just walking through rooms. Gives you, ooh, you hear that sound? It gives you a lot of things. Let's teleport. Where are we going to go? Oh, right back here because I've unlocked nothing else. All right, that's fine. All right, let's blow this joint. We got everything we need in here. Except out. Yeah, look at that. Metroidvania style. We got the bag and now we can go this way. But first we save. Whoa. And I know that's coming and it still gets me every time. one of the few jump scares I decided to toss in. You just walk in and it's like, hey, trapped in the face. Oh gosh, I forgot. All right, there we go. Right here, here. All right, there we go. Whew. All right, here we go. Up, up, and away. Gonna dance on this platform here. It's kind of fun. Dance to the music. Dance to the beat. Oh man, so I just noticed chat is actually not delayed that much at all, but the video stream I'm seeing is way delayed. I wonder if I'm just like not live. Is that why? Yes, that's why. Okay, that explains a lot. I was watching the video feed, and it was right below the chat. I didn't have it live, so I was like, man, why is it like a minute behind? All right, cool. I feel a lot better now. All right, let's get back around here. Oh yeah, by the way, look at this thing. Oh, what was that? It also behaves kind of interesting too. I can do this. Look at that. I wonder if there's a way to ride on those later. You guys are seeing all the speedrunning techniques here. And that laughing, it gets to me sometimes. All right, here we go. Now that I've got the block, there is one other way I can go down here to get to the key. Let's go ahead and knock that out real quick. Oops, missed a memory. Gotta get that. Hey, thanks for the comment on the bubble. Yeah, we're gonna pretend we didn't see the bug with the skeleton being like 3 feet above the ground. Yeah, the bubble had to go. It had bothered me for a long time because it was round, and like nothing in the game is a perfect curve. Like nothing. It just felt so out of place, and so. I decided to go the Dragon Ball Cloud route. I forget what that thing is called. My kids would know, and honestly, shame on me for not knowing. I should know that, but yeah, took some inspiration from their little cloud. All right, drop some blocks down here. I don't have to say it, but I'll do it anyway, just for fun. All right, I need this block, so we're gonna like do this block jump over and over again to get over here. All right, now, one of the things I'm going to be adding before final release is a proper intro for the bosses, and proper music for the, bosses. There's going to be one boss theme, though. I'm not writing like 6 different boss musics. That would be crazy. I'm not as prolific as a full-time composer would be. All right, there we go. I'm gonna be sad to leave this music behind, but it's almost behind us. Oh, here's a room where you absolutely need to check your perspective here. Yeah, like flying Nimbus or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just getting confused because Nimbus is a type of cloud. And I don't know. Something like that. I think you're right. Excuse me. Early on, and maybe in like the first demo I put out, had this concept of doors that were locked until you had a certain key. And fairly recently, actually, I decided no. Like originally, that was how you got out of here. Was it was a door that would open from this side when you had the key. And nah. It just started getting to be a little bit complicated. A lot of things to keep track of. Let's see here. So now that I have the bag, there are a few more places I can show you that were not in any of the earlier builds. Let's go look at them. So far so good. Nothing is broken in a traumatic way yet. Always a little nervous, right? Especially when you're doing something live. But so far so good. Let's see here. All right. Oh, I can talk about my design process a little bit right over here. Like world design. One of the things that's really tricky with a Metroidvania is, number one, you want a big world. You want a lot of things to explore. You want to gate it by different abilities, and you want to have like ways to loop back. But it all has to kind of work together. Like, you don't want to accidentally, oops, I got this ability and now it just invalidates half the map that the player never even had to go through in the beginning, right? And I agree. I try not to have too many of those, the lock and key puzzles. That was actually something that I went back and redesigned a lot. So, talking about world design though, just to finish that real quick, you can see this room is called placeholder. When I would design the map, I would figure out how do I want it to connect, where do I want it to go to, and what do I want the different shortcuts to be. I didn't want to build everything out and then add an ability later and realize, oh man, I got to go back and change a whole bunch of things. And so what I would do is I would map it all out on graph paper, and I would put blank rooms in. I would fill the whole thing with blank rooms. Sometimes I knew exactly what needed to go in there, but mostly they were just big rooms like this. And you just walk through them. And I think there's another one over here. Or maybe I went through it already. Anyway. And so I go back and fill them in later. And some of them I've still got around, like that one. because I've got plans for them. I have a lot of notes about some of the things that are going to get added later. I think I can just jump off of here. There we go. But yeah, so on the lock and key thing, I had a couple of abilities early on in my plan that were very passive. Like they changed the way some things looked, but they didn't, or they changed like what you could get into, but they didn't change the way the game played. And I decided I don't like that. I actually wanted all the abilities to have some impact on the way you play the game. And I actually got super inspired on that front from Guacamelee, if you've ever played that. All of their upgrades, every single one, is active. Like there's nothing passive at all. It's all different combat moves in that game, but they also change how you navigate and like the kinds of things you can unlock and places you can go. You might have noticed that there's no combat in OOLO, and that was a conscious decision. Solstice had no combat. The sequel did. Equinox, if you ever played that. The original Solstice didn't. And it's all about how do I get around things? How do I get past things? Let me grab a few more potions here. Ooh. We'll hit the factory in a minute. And I should be able to get through that fast enough to get us to the swamp. Total number of regions, by the way. There are 10 regions. So there's one for each key. I don't need to go yet. There's one for each key. Then there's this one, which is the hub. Though I guess technically the Earth key is here. You have to go through the catacombs to get to it. There's the final area. And then there's a few more that I'll leave it up to the players to find. There are, I'll be like very, very open about this. There are a couple of areas that are extremely well hidden. And one of them, if you ever played Super Mario World, that's right, inspiration from all over the place. If you ever played Super Mario World, and you got to Star Road, was that like a big moment for you? You're like, wait, there's like this whole other world up here. And then you finished it and it's like, wait. I wanted something on that level. And so there's some pretty deep secrets in this game that I am going out of my way to not divulge or show any of it, any of the streams or trailers. Hopefully people enjoy them. So the factory, it's one of our 10 regions. Each region kind of has a specific type of puzzle. The forest is like blocks and just kind of peaceful exploration. The catacombs is parkour with blocks. Oh, you see these guys kind of vibrate when you get close. Then you hit them, pow! Oh man. Yeah, there has to be a room called Tubular. Yeah, that thing. I'm gonna write that note down real quick. The puzzles in the factory, I keep calling it factory. The official name is the Forge of Misery. It's always just been called factory in my head. Is lighting furnaces to power rooms. When you start out, when you first get here, there's really, oh man, I didn't make it. There's really only one way to light those little furnaces, and that is to trick the little sparks into going into them. And you get to some rooms later where it's like, well, wait a minute, there's no spark to even get over there, and it's like, ah, okay, I see. I bet there's an upgrade later that changes things. And this is the closest thing, the upgrade in here, that we're going to get to soon, actually. The upgrade in here is the closest thing to a lock and key. Oh, it's the closest thing to a lock and key I've got in the game. But I did add an active ability to even the torch, and I'll show you that in just a minute. This is actually very new. It didn't make it into any demos or any playtests, and it's super important later on. Not as important in the early parts of the game, but oh gosh, but it's another jump scare of sorts. Yeah, like right here, you see this furnace, and it's like, well, I can't light this up. Yeah, I hear the comment on the Steam sprites, and I'm actually going to smooth the edges out. They're too dark. They don't need to look like paper cutouts. Alright, this guy right here. The Ever Ember. Always burning fire. So with this, you can walk up to a furnace, tap a button, the furnace lights up. It, you know, it powers the room like in here, right? See it light it, whoosh, right? See that, open the lock. But it added one more ability. And in fact, let me come out of here. You ready? Here we go. If I hold down LT, this little torch comes out. And there are actually rooms later on that are so dark you can't really see without it. This room is the panic, shut off the furnace. You kind of learn what a negative spark is. You kind of learn that a little bit earlier when you see them shutting off furnaces and knocking into the others. Well, that's another aspect of puzzles in the factory, is you have to shut things off sometimes too. Okay, now we have 2 teleporters active, so we should be able to just warp around the world now. Look at that. Now I'm down in the catacombs. And now I'm back in the forge. Alright. What's this way, I wonder? Oh! Look at that. Look, there's a key up there. Huh. Check out that, like, funky jungle beat, too. Oh, yeah. We'll get to the swamp in a minute. I don't think that's made it into any playtest or demo, actually. I take it back. It might have been in one of the playtests I did. But let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go see the swamp, everyone. Each region has a very distinct theme, too. I try to keep them all kind of, you know, like low... not really low poly, but kind of like, you know, low poly voxel look and feel. Keeping everything kind of unified, but still unique. A lot of it was done with lighting. Like the catacombs had the dark blue and purple and orange lighting. Let's get down to the swamp, though, where you see that there's fog in the swamp. Ooh! Alright, here we go. Gotta go fast. Alright. I like this little thing here. I don't know. These things show up a lot more later, but one of the things I think Solstice did really well is it had these, like, not really unique, but kind of interesting 1 or 2 off things in the game. It's just like, wait, that's kind of weird and interesting. What is that? So kind of wanted some of those moments, too. This you might remember from the video, the trailer that I put out. The gauntlet room there. Ooh, burn these vines. So you can't actually come into the swamp before you have the torch, and I actually had someone make it pretty far into the swamp. I'm going to die a lot in this room, I bet. I had someone make it pretty far into the swamp, and they get stuck. They couldn't get back out because it was too hard without the torch to get through that room that we just went through a second ago. Yes, they managed to get through this room somehow without the torch. I was actually really impressed. I should give that guy a medal, but it was good feedback. I actually went through and added a one-way escape from the swamp, so you can't get stuck there anymore. Oh no, I missed it. Let's just get shot. All right. Oh man. All right, here we go. There we go. Alright. Yeah, it was right over here. I added the one way out, so you could save here. And you could get stuck. This is where you got stuck. And so oh, it was you! Okay, yeah. Well, here you go. This is just for you. One way out. One way out. Alright. That takes you back to the fairy room, by the way, where they're all running around the blocks. My least favorite room. This one you do in fact need both these. If you haven't noticed, there's 2 different types of goblins. There's the yellow ones that shoot only when they see you, and then there's the brown ones that just kind of shoot on schedule here. Alright, here we go. Grab this potion, and it's like, oh man, look at this, I can't go anywhere. If you actually look at the map, there's not even a door marked there, though There are, in fact, rooms that are secret and are not marked on the map sometimes. No doors, nothing. No hint they're there except a gap in the map. Yeah, that was one of the things I really want to do. Like a lot of the fast travel is not just filling in teleporters. It's also just like, hey, there's a different way across this room now that I have this upgrade than before. Oh yeah, I messed that up. I usually go right at the beginning. There we go. Oh, this room is tough. The swamp is definitely where like the skill ceiling jumps really fast, and I probably need to tone it down a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. It's a lot. It gets really crazy in here really fast. Ah, shoot. That's what I get for just walking. Oops, I think I did that way too early. Hold on. Okay, let's burn it now. Yep. Nope, way too early still. Okay. There we go. All right. Land on. Yes. All right, good. All right, now wait till he comes over here and stops. Okay. Whew. This room is just nuts. Oh, okay. Hey, what am I doing wrong? There we go. That falls on him. He brings it that way. Then he comes this way. You got to time that jump. And you got to get up here, get over here, and over here. And oh my gosh, I kind of one-shot it. Hey. All right. Crumbling blocks, crumbling blocks. All right, let's get. Oh gosh. All right. Let's get up here. How many do I have? Oh, I got 10 more potions. Yeah, let's do this. Block. Oh, this one right here. That room with the stairs kept collapsing on you. Yeah, that one's kind of mean because you have to block jump off the stairs, and you have a very short amount of time before the block crumbles. And you're like, ah. So in the very first demo I released, this was the dash ability. That actually comes a little bit later in the game now, and it's a different model. I changed the cloak to be the power up that lets you ride on the clouds. And now look how easy it is to get through this room. Oh man, I'm just gonna cruise right through it. Oh gosh. You know, thought I could have done that. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Woo! I'm gonna walk across the top here. That's the easy way out. Alright. Woo! Let's go look at the boss. Let's go see the swamp boss. You think I would know that timing better? Speaking of secrets, here's a spoiler for you. Check that map. Look at the north. Here we go. Hey, potion. This way real quick. You might notice a little purple effect every now and then. I added the ability for the player to be seen through certain things. And so, oh man, look at me mess that perspective up. And there's still a little bit of tuning that needs to be done as far as what and when you show through. Like these blocks right here in the swamp shouldn't, they're showing my feet clip through when they animate, and that's not desired, right? So that'll be tweaked later. But it's super useful in a lot of places where you can get completely lost and have no idea where you were. Again, you think I would know the timing on this. You can't stand there. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh. Oh. Alright. Maybe we're gonna go look at something else. Nah, it's okay. We'll get this done. We'll get this done. And then I think I'm gonna walk into the tower when I get over there So you guys can see what the tower. No, actually, I can go to the tower right now. I'm gonna go to the tower right now. People have seen the swamp. Let's see the tower. Let's go to the tower. Let's go. Take my shortcut out here. Oh, okay. You know, it's supposed to be a shortcut, not a death sentence. There we go. Casual mode makes everything a little bit easier. Except going back through this room. Oh goodness. Alright, well. Can you tell I don't go back this way very often? Alright, 1 second here. Let's see. Okay, let's go this way. Alright, let's go take a look at what's in the tower. Tower's over here. We saw it a long time ago, but I didn't even try to go in because you actually can't get in the beginning. Oops, didn't mean to tunnel that on. It's an interesting puzzle. I kind of hate to ruin it, but it'll be fine. In the trailer that's on the Steam page right now, there's a few shots from the tower. It's got like the marble walls with like little electric lights. There's a giant bird at the top that kind of screeches and flies at the player. That's the boss for the tower. It's my favorite boss. I really like that boss. Yeah, I got about 10 minutes. Okay. So, you see there's this gate here. How do we get into this gate? Well, the block here can't get to that though. So the question is, how do we do it? Well, if you knock this into a block, it stops. There's a hint. Ah, now I'm up here. Now, if I do the same thing over here, gotta push this back up this way first. Yes. Yes, Soko Cloud. Went too far, but oh no, come on. Oh no. What have I done? Oh. I might be able to do it with this. We'll see. Yeah, I don't think so. Well, you get the idea. It's stuck over here now. This would be kind of fun. Let's see, can I do this? Oh. Oh, not quite, not quite. Well, the tower will wait for another time. But, that's OOLO in a nutshell. So let's see, what are the other areas? Let's look at the map real quick. So we got the tower. Here's what we've explored so far. There's the swamp, which we've seen most of. There's a little bit left. The catacombs, which you can actually change floors. Whoa. Go all the way down. Catacombs are pretty far down. It's the Lost Forest. There's the tower, which is right here. So this little section right here. The tower goes up. it just goes up. So you can see it goes up to floor 10 here, right? The map. And the tower goes up to floor 10. That's the ship that you started at there. So yeah, you can in fact eventually get back to the ship. I don't know if you noticed in the very beginning of the start room, there was a door back to the left that they came out of. You can go back through that door later. There's another area down here that's called the Labyrinth of Madness. That's where you get one of the keys from. And there's another area up here called the Sky Gardens, kind of through that little room right there. You have to have the ability from the tower to get to it, though. That area has a lot of air, a lot of giant pits. In the video that's on Steam now, the trailer, the flying fish boss is in that. It's in that area. A lot of dashing and parkour and dashing off of parkour blocks and double jumping, and oh yeah, that's another ability. And then the ending might be over in here somewhere. You'll just have to find out. That's it. Any questions from anyone out there? I got a few minutes left before end of stream. I'm gonna do another one with cheats enabled later in the week, so I can kind of show off some fancier and more late game stuff without ruining too much. But for now, that's OOLO. If we're good on questions, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up.
Thanks for everyone who stuck with it the whole time. Thanks for those who just hopped in and out. I'll save this off to YouTube, and I might actually use this as the looping video too, part of the week. Just kind of have some developer commentary running too. Yeah, it's been great. Thanks everybody. I'll see you all around.